These are the ingredients that I'm using for the Grinch Brownies. I have vegetable oil, 3 tablespoons of water, 2 eggs, a box of fudge brownie mix, some white baking chips, some peppermint extract, some green food coloring, some mint Oreos, the red and green M&Ms, and some heavy whipping cream. The first thing that I'm going to do is preheat my oven to 350 degrees, and then I'm going to line a 13 by 9 baking dish with some parchment paper, and this will make for easy cleanup. And then I'll just prepare my brownie mix according to the package directions. Got my brownie mix, and then I'll add in a half a cup of vegetable oil, 3 tablespoons of water, and 2 eggs. And then I'll just stir all together until it's well blended. And then I'll just set my brownie mix to the side, and I've got 16 of the mint Oreos, and then I'm just going to chop those into quarters. Once I have all 16 of the Oreos chopped into quarters, I will add them to my brownie mix. And then I'm going to pour my brownie mix into my 13 by 9 inch pan that I lined with the parchment paper. And then I'm going to cook these for 30 to 35 minutes until they are done. My brownies just came out of the oven. They baked for a total of 34 minutes. I just inserted a toothpick and it just came out clean. I have my brownies on a wire rack to cool. I'm going to let them cool for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to start on the ganache. Now I'm going to work on my ganache in a small saucepan. I'm going to pour in a half a cup of heavy whipping cream, and I'm just going to let this heat up. I've got my stove on low heat, and I'm just going to kind of wait until this heats up well enough to where there's some bubbles around the side. Whenever my heavy whipping cream has been heated up, I'm going to move over to my bowl. In my glass bowl, I have 2 cups of white baking chips, and I'm just going to pour over my hot whipping cream, and I'm just going to cover that as best as I can. And then I'm just going to kind of push these baking chips down to where they're covered with the heavy whipping cream. And then I'm going to place a plate over my bowl, and I'm going to let this sit and heat up for 5 minutes. It's now been 5 minutes, so I'm going to remove my plate, and I will just stir all this up and make sure all those white baking chips have melted into the heavy whipping cream. Once it has fully melted, I'm going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of peppermint extract and a few drops of food coloring. And then I'm going to add it to the top of my brownies. And then I took 10 more of the mint Oreos and I quartered them as well. And I'm just going to decorate these and put these on the top. And then I'll just sprinkle a few of the red and green M&Ms over top of that. And now I'm just going to set it in the refrigerator for about an hour and let that ganache set. And after an hour in the refrigerator, the ganache has hardened up, so now I can cut them into bars and we can enjoy them. These are the ingredients that I'm using for my Christmas peanut butter cups. I have milk, vanilla, salt, all vegetable shortening, butter, semi-sweet chocolate chips, creamy peanut butter, and in this bowl I have 3 cups of sifted powdered sugar. In my mixing bowl I have my 3 cups of my sifted powdered sugar, and I'm going to add in 1.5 cups of peanut butter. And 1/3 cup of melted butter. And then I'll mix that up. Once I have that mixed up, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of milk. And then I'm going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'll just mix that up. And then I just placed my peanut butter dough on my silicone baking sheet and just helps to keep it from sticking. And I'm going to use my rolling pin and just flatten it out. Once my dough has been rolled out, I'm going to take my mini Christmas cookie cutters. I found these at Walmart and they're really little. And I'm just going to make my shapes as though I was making Christmas cookies. Once I get them cut out, I'm going to place them on another baking sheet, and this baking sheet also has a silicone baking mat. And I'll just repeat this process until I have all of the peanut butter used up. Once I have all of my shapes cut out, I'm going to set this in the refrigerator for 30 minutes and let that peanut butter set up. After the peanut butter cups have sat in the refrigerator for 30 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and start on my chocolate. I'm going to pour 2 cups of chocolate chips in a bowl and 2 tablespoons of the vegetable shortening. And then I'm going to microwave this for 30-second increments until the chocolate has melted, and I'm just going to stir it in between each time and make sure that I don't burn my chocolate. Once my chocolate has melted, I'm going to take a fork and I'm going to put it underneath my peanut butter cups, and I'm just going to dip it and coat it in the chocolate. And then I'll return it back to my sheet. And I'll just repeat that process for each one. So I ran out of chocolate, but that's okay. These taste like peanut butter fudge. They're still good without the chocolate. So I've got these covered the best that I can. They may not look the best, but it's okay. I still had fun making them and they're still going to be cute. I'm just going to set them in the refrigerator now for 30 minutes and let that chocolate harden up.